Hey everyone, welcome to the Copilot Exchange. This is Steven. It's May 2nd, 2019, and I want to do a quick update on the gaps I've been tracking on Yangtze River Port and Logistics, or stock ticker YRIV. I'm using TradingView as my platform, and as you can see, I have the relative strength index on the bottom half of my chart, and then just typical candlestick price action on the top half of my chart. So you can actually pull up the RSI indicator if you want to follow or practice with the RSI by clicking on indicators up top here, and then you can just search RSI in the search menu, and it'll pull up relative strength index, and you just click on that, it'll pull it up on your chart for you. Now, normally I like to use the daily chart to spot RSI trends, but sometimes you can spot trends that repeat themselves at a higher resolution. And I found an interesting pattern in the oversold areas on the 30-minute chart. So I'm going to turn on some lines I drew, but don't freak out. I will explain what everything means in due time. Before we address the RSI indicator down here, I want to direct your attention to three gaps that were filled in the course of 30 minutes this morning on March 2nd. So I marked each of these gaps red because that's my own little system for indicating a gap that I've been tracking that has filled. If a gap hasn't filled, I have the lines colored green, as you can see up here. And note, we still have three significant gaps lying above the current price action from $1.30 all the way up to about $1.51. Remember, when price action actually enters a gap, an open gap, like it did this morning, that in this candlestick right here, it tends to fill the gap entirely and in short order. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw all three gaps almost entirely fill within the course of 30 minutes. So I've marked these gaps red because they're closed now. Now let's direct our attention to the RSI chart to explain why I ended up purchasing some shares, and I marked the time and purchase price of these shares yesterday. When the RSI tends to respect 70, classically it respects 70 as overbought and 30 as oversold. Sometimes you can detect patterns or areas of resistance outside of these bands. And if you see the price fluctuation tends to respect these levels, then that might be a line you want to set. And so you can see I actually drew a line at 80 RSI and 20 RSI. And if we back out in the chart, we can start to see that when the price action starts to interact with these levels at 80 or at 20, and sometimes if it breaks through 80 or 20, like here, it tends to recover or reverse trend in a business day or less. So the RSI took a dive into oversold territory on May 1st right here. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit closer. RSI dives into oversold under 30. I patiently waited. I was waiting for it to actually break through the line, but when it coasted above 20, I actually bought right here. And as you can see, there was a little bit more of a dip and then a very quick recovery, as we've seen in the past when it exceeds that 20 RSI threshold. It recovered very quickly. So I would always suggest using a few different indicators, and because I saw this confluence of the oversold RSI floating above a previous level of support, and we had three gaps existing above the price action, that's what caused me to buy the stock when I did. So using different indicators, looking for a confluence in those indicators to trigger your buy and sell orders, that's what I'm starting to try to utilize in my strategy this year. So I hope this video helped you gain some strategic perspective, at least on YRIV's recent price action, and wish you the best of luck in the future. Thanks for watching.